Ayan, okay, so we have one viewer. Kindly share the live video to your GC. Kindly share the live video sa GC ninyo para ma-notify po yung mga co-reviewees ninyo that we'll have our review tonight. This is our third night of review sa Gen Ed, General Education. Good evening, teachers. Good evening, mga ma'am and sir. I hope you're fine today. Good evening po. Kindly share this live video sa GC ninyo para ma-inform po yung mga co-reviewees ninyo. Okay, sige. Good evening, teachers. Good evening, mga ma'am and sir. Hello, hello. Okay, welcome sa ating sa ating day 3 of rationalization for general education with Coach Rochi. So by the way, I am one of the coaches here in Teacher Sepi, no? Since year 2024, September 2024. Okay? So, ayan. Okay, so to formally start our session this evening, so let us pray first. Let us ask for the divine providence from God, for the Trinitarians, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty and ever-loving God, we praise and glorify your name. We thank you for this day. We thank you for everything, especially for the gift of life, for each blessing you've bestowed upon us, for the people around us, O Lord, especially our family and our loved ones. Lord, we are very sorry for every wrongdoing we have committed against your will. And as we begin with our review this evening, may you send forth your divine spirit, O God, so that all the concepts, all the questions that will be rationalized this evening will be inculcated in the minds of our reviewees, Lord, and will be of great help for them to pass and top the licensure exam for teachers this coming September 2026. All these I ask and pray in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Ayan. Okay, so, hello, good evening once again. Good evening, mga mom and sir. So, day 3 na po natin, no, for Gen Ed. Okay, General Education. Ngayon, so, same pa rin po yung ating flow ng ating review, no? So, I'm going to flash the question. And then, of course, you need to send your answers here. Of course, kailangan ninyong i-check kung tama bang mga sagot ninyo, no? So, wag mahiyang mag-send ng answers dito kasi nga, walang magde-judge sa inyo kasi tayo-tayo lang naman, 'di ba? So on the day of the board exam, actual exam talaga ay dapat tama na yung mga answers, no? So yan yung goal, okay? So okay lang magkamali, no? It's natural lang naman 'yon, okay? Sige, so bago tayo mag-start, so ano nga yung ating hashtag? Hashtag LPT2026, hashtag TopNotcher2026. Sige daw, i-send ninyo dito sa comment section. Okay, pakisend sa comment section yung hashtag natin this evening. Okay, pakisend po mga ma'am and sir, teachers, no, mga future let passers and top notchers, no? So excited na ako makita lahat ng mga names ninyo sa makakapasa, no, at magta-top ngayong December 2026, no? So let's pray to God na lahat po kayo, no, 100%, no, ay makapasa. Okay? Ayan. Okay, so Ayan, thank you very much, teachers, no? Ayan, si Ma'am Marie, hashtag LPT 2026. Ma'am Glenda, LPT 2026. Ayan, no? Ma'am Janet, ayan, 2026, LPT 2026, no? So, yes, let's claim it. Claim na natin yan, no? Okay, kasi papalapit at papalapit ang exam. So, huwag kabahan, no? Huwag kabahan kasi baka lahat ng mga na-studyhan ninyo, na-review ninyo ay makalimutan dahil kinabahan kayo. So, huwag kabahan on the actual exam. Okay? So, relax lang and of course, uh, i-pray na lang yan talaga sa God, no? Na bigyan kayo ng enlightenment, bigyan kayo ng knowledge, no? Na ma-analyze ninyo at saka ma-remember ninyo, ma-recall ninyo, no? Ma-recall ninyo from your long-term memory lahat ng mga na-review ninyo. Okay? So, ayan. Sige, so maraming salamat teachers. Thank you for sending, for commenting here, sending your comments and for commenting or for commenting here. Thank you very much. Okay, sige. So let us start na our rasyo para marami tayong time no uh, to explain no yung bawat item. Okay, sige, let us begin our rationalization with number 1. Still, general education pa rin po ito. Okay? So, let's start with number 1. A researcher writes, the intervention appeared successful, although the improvement cannot be attributed exclusively to the intervention because the participants simultaneously received individualized coaching, which revision best preserves the intended epistemic caution while improving concision. Okay, so medyo mahaba yung question, no? So yan daw yung sinulat ng isang researcher. Okay, so yan yung text. The intervention appeared successful, although the improvement cannot be attributed exclusively to the intervention because the participants simultaneously received individualized coaching. So ano daw ngayon yung best preserves the intended epistemic caution while improving concision? Is it letter A? The intervention was successful but individualized coaching also improved the participants. B. The intervention appeared successful, although individualized coaching prevents attributing the improvement solely to it. Letter C, the intervention successfully improved the participants despite individualized coaching? Or is it letter D, the intervention and individualized coaching were both responsible for the improvement? So what do you think is the correct answer? Is it letter A, B, C, or D? Okay, so let's find out. Okay, sige. So ang correct answer for this one, okay, so let's reveal that is letter B. Okay, tandaan, letter B ang ating sagot. Bakit? Kasi nga, the sentence, okay, the sentence itself preserves the cautious claim. Okay? Na yung intervention daw appeared successful or effective. However, di ba ni-recognize niya, di ba nakalagay dyan, although, di ba, recognize niya na yung pagko-coach, no, individualized coaching is a factor. Okay? A factor that it can be a confounding factor that prevents the exclusive attribution of the improvement to the intervention. Okay? So, ang ating answer for this is letter B. Ang letter A kasi, diba, intervention was successful, but individualized coaching also improved the participants. Okay, so, hindi siya nag-attribute on the hindi siya kumbaga yung statement niya hindi siya nag-preserve ng cautious claim. Okay? Kasi talagang parang sure na siya na yung individualized coaching can already improve the participants. Letter C naman, the intervention successfully improved the participants despite individualized coaching. That is also wrong. Okay? So, hindi yan siya cautious na claim. Hindi cautious claim yan siya, no? How about letter D? The intervention and individualized coaching were both responsible for the improvement. Kasi, yung mga statements kasi na yan, parang hindi siya, parang siyang sure na, no? Sigurado na siya, certain na. No? Pero itong letter B kasi, it's very cautious. Okay? Cautious claim talaga siya as compared to the other options. No? Sige, let's proceed now to number 2. Which sentence contains a scope ambiguity that could cause a materially different interpretation? Which sentence contains a scope ambiguity that could cause a materially different interpretation? Is it letter A, the committee approved the revised curriculum yesterday? B, the researchers interviewed teachers who had implemented the program? Letter C, the school will provide laptops to students with damaged screens. Or is it letter D, the principal discussed the policy with teachers from rural schools? Sige, saan dyan yung may ambiguity sa um, sa statements na yan, sa mga sentences na yan? Na syempre kung may ambiguous yan, iba't iba yung meaning, iba't iba yung interpretation, depende sa kung sino yung nagbabasa. Okay, sige, the correct answer here is that is letter C. Tandaan, the school will provide laptops to students with damaged screen. So, bakit yan yung ating sagot? Kasi nga, 'di ba, nakalagay dyan students with damaged screens. So, 'di ba, ibig sabihin, yung phrase na yan, it describes either the students or the laptops. 'Di ba? So, yung phrase na yan, kung iba yung magbabasa, okay, yung magbabasa, it can either be yung sa tingin nila, yung phrase na yan, para sa estudyante. Yung iba naman, para sa laptop. Okay? So, iba't iba yung interpretation. And that creates, because of that phrase, students with damaged screens. And that phrase can, creates ambiguity, diba? So, iba't iba yung interpretation, okay, about who has the damaged screens. Ano yung may damaged screen? Ang student ba or ang laptop? Okay? So, ayan siya. So, yan yung may ambiguity, okay? Letter A, committee approved the revised curriculum yesterday. So, hindi yan siya ambiguous ang statement, no? Okay, letter B, researchers interviewed teachers who had implemented the program. So, ito kasi di ito ambiguous, no? Kasi nga, mas specific yung kanyang yung nasa sentence. The principal discussed the policy with teachers from rural schools, still not ambiguous, okay? So, ang naka-ambiguous letters yung phrase the students with damaged screens because ang damaged screens, it can be, kung sa ibang interpretation pa, it can be student or pwede laptop, okay? So, letter C, okay? Letter C ang tamang sagot. Next, number 3. In academic argumentation, which statement most clearly illustrates the distinction between correlation and causation? Sige daw. Sa argumentation daw, argumentative, anong statement daw yung nagpapakita ng difference ng correlation and causation? Okay, sige. Saan kaya? Is it letter A? Schools with libraries tend to have higher reading scores, therefore libraries cause higher reading achievement. B. Students who read frequently generally obtain higher scores, suggesting an association between reading frequency and achievement. C. Reading frequency and reading achievement are related because both are measured variables. Or is it letter D? Students who read frequently perform better because reading necessarily causes academic success. Sige, saan dyan yung may distinction ng correlation and causation? Okay, the correct answer we have letter B. Okay? The correct answer is letter B. Bakit letter B ang ating sagot? Kasi nga, sa statement na yan, diba, it describes the relationship, okay, or the association ng reading frequency tsaka achievement. Okay? Di ba nakalagay dyan, suggesting an association between reading frequency and achievement. And also, although nakalagay dyan although nakadescribe yung association, but then again, it does not claim, okay? It does not claim that one necessarily causes the other. Okay, so baka makita ninyo, di ba, nakalagay dyan, students who read frequently generally obtain higher scores, suggesting an association between reading frequency and achievement. So although nakastipulate talaga na merong association yung reading frequency and achievement, pero it does not claim naman na yung isa is talagang makakause siya ng isang variable. Okay? Yung isang variable makakause ng other variable. Okay? So, letter B. Ang letter A kasi, schools with libraries tend to have higher reading scores. Therefore, libraries cause higher reading achievement. Ito siya, causation lang yung letter A. Ang letter C naman, reading frequency and reading achievement are related because both are measured variables. So, parang wala siyang parang correlation lang yung kanyang Walang, walang, walang dahilan. Bakit nag-correlate sila? Bakit related sila? So, correlation lang yung highlight sa letter C. Ang letter D naman, students who read frequently perform better because reading necessarily causes academic success. This one, causation only. Walang correlation. Okay? Yung letter B kasi, okay, so may correlation and causation. Okay? So, students who read frequently generally obtain higher scores. Ayan. So, causation yan. Okay? Cause and effect. And then, suggesting an association, o yan na yung correlation between reading frequency and achievement. Okay? So, letter B ang ating sagot. Next, number 4. Consider the statement. If the proposed policy were genuinely effective, schools that adopted it would consistently outperform comparable schools that did not. Which evidence would most seriously weaken the argument? Is it letter A, some adopting schools outperform non-adopting schools? B, several adopting schools perform no better than comparable non-adopting schools despite similar conditions? Letter C, some non-adopting schools have fewer resources than adopting schools. Or is it letter D, most adopting schools report satisfaction with the policy? Sige, saan dyan yung evidence na makaweaken ng argument? Kasi yung argument natin, ayan, nasa taas. No? If the proposed policy were genuinely effective, effective lang daw yung proposed policy, schools that adopted it would consistently outperform comparable schools that did not. So, yung mga schools na nag-adopt ng proposed policy na yun ay talagang better sila or comparable sila compared doon sa schools na hindi nag-adopt ng policy na yan. Sige, saan dyan yung makaweaken sa argument? Okay, the correct answer we have letter B. Okay, letter B. Several adopting schools perform no better than comparable non-adopting schools despite similar conditions. So, yeah, bakit yan yung makaweaken ng argument? Kasi nga, 'di ba? Kung i-assess natin yung statement, 'di ba? If yung comparable schools daw mag-adopt ng policy na yon, it does not outperform the non-adopting schools. So therefore, yung evidence na yan, it challenges yung claim, no, na effectiveness should consistently result from adoption. Okay? So yan siya. Okay, how about letter A? Bakit letter A? Some adopting schools outperform non-adopting schools, so hindi yan makaweaken ng argument. Okay, yung letter A. Letter C, some non-adopting schools have fewer resources. That's also wrong. How about letter D? Most adopting schools report satisfaction with the policy. Okay, that's actually wrong. So again, letter B ang makaweaken ng argument. Kasi nga, 'di ba, hindi lahat, okay, those comparable schools which adopt the policy, they do not outperform the non-adopting. That evidence, of course, yan yung naka-challenge sa claim na effectiveness should consistently result from adoption. Okay? So again, letter B. Next, number 5. Which sentence demonstrates the most appropriate parallel structure? Okay. So based on the grammar below, so ang saan kaya dito yung may appropriate parallel structure? Is it A, the program aims to improve literacy, increasing attendance, and the development of confidence? B, the program aims at improving literacy, attendance, and students' confidence? C, the program aims to improve literacy, increase attendance, and develop students' confidence? Or is it letter D, the program aims to improve literacy, increase attendance, and developing confidence? So ating sagot dito, walang iba kundi letter C. Okay, that is letter C, the program aims to improve literacy, increase attendance, and develop students' confidence. Why? Bakit letter C? Kasi nga, 'di ba, gumamit ng improve, another, gumamit pa siya ng increase, ano pa, develop. They are parallel, mga infinitive verbs, no? And of course, makita ninyo balanced, no? Grammatically balanced yung construction ng sentence and may consistency. Okay? So that is letter C. Ang letter A kasi, improve literacy, then increasing, then development. So wrong. Letter B, nag-start sa improving, then attendance, then students' confidence. So wrong. Walang consistency. Letter D, improve literacy, then increased, then developing. So walang consistency. Okay? So again, letter C ang ating sagot. Next, number 6. A speaker says we must either adopt this technology immediately or accept that our students will become technologically illiterate. What logical fallacy is most directly present? Is it A, straw man, B, false dilemma, C, ad hominem, or letter D, appeal to tradition? Sige, ano kaya ang logical fallacy na meron? Okay, the correct answer we have letter B. False dilemma yan siya. Ano nga yung false dilemma? Pag sabihin natin false dilemma, yung speaker, 'di ba, yung nagsasalita, they can present two choices or two alternatives. Okay? Alternatives or two choices when those two choices may possibility na mag-exist siya. So that is false dilemma. Okay? False dilemma fallacy. Okay? Ano yung two choices? Either adopt this technology immediately or yan yung first choice. And the second choice is accept that our students will become technologically illiterate. So, ano yung straw man pala? Sige, ano pala yung straw man? Para malaman natin, no, kung ano yung straw man na fallacy. Ang straw man fallacy kasi, it happens, no, when someone changes, kung yung tao may i-change siya or mag-exaggerate siya, ipasobrahan niya yung argument ng another person to make it easier to fight. So that is straw man. Halimbawa, no? About diet. Okay, so yung isang tao nagsabi, we should eat less red meat to stay healthy. So dapat di nakakain ng red meat. Yung isang tao nagsabi, why do you want to ban all meat and force everyone to be vegan? O, diba? So, yan siya. So, yung isa is, it happens, no, diba? Yung isa, kumbaga, change niya yung argument ng another person para maaaring magkaaway, diba? Ganyan, no? To fight his or her argument. Okay, or claim niya. So, yan yung straw man. Okay? Then, ang ad hominem, of course, personal attack, no? Instead of attacking the argument itself, ina-attacke mo yung character, yung trait, 'di ba? Yung personality ng tao, instead of attacking the argument itself. Okay? Then, ano pala ang appeal to tradition? So, when we talk about appeal to tradition, it happens, no, kapag magsasabi ka, okay, na yung isang bagay, it is right or best. Kasi nga, ginawa na yun ng maraming tao for a long time. Kaya nga, tradisyon siya. That's appeal to tradition. Okay? So, yan siya yung appeal to tradition. Still, fallacy pa rin yan. Okay? Halimbawa na lang, okay, like, Example sa appeal to tradition. Okay, our family has always eaten meatloaf on Sundays, so it is the best meal. So nakasanayan na kasi nila. Okay, to traditional na. Another, we should not change our work schedule. We have always started at 8 a.m. So kung ano yung nakasanayan, yun na yun. Yun na yung tama. Yun na dapat yung gawin. So yun yung appeal to tradition. Okay, let's proceed now to number 7. Which statement best exemplifies hedging in scholarly writing? Sa academic writing. Saan daw dyan yung example ng hedging? Ano palang ibig sabihin ng hedging? Ano palang ibig sabihin ng hedging? So, hedging kasi in academic writing, it means, no, you have to use cautious or soft language. Okay? Mga cautious or soft language to make the argument or your claim less absolute. Para hindi magmukhang absolute fact yung sinasabi mo. Maaari kang gumamit ng mga words na may, might, suggest, generally, ganyan. So, yan yung mga cautious. Okay, so may contribute. So, kung makita ninyo dyan, diba, it limits the strength of the claim. So, para hindi maging absolute yung argument. Okay? And that acknowledge the uncertainty. So, ibig sabihin, hindi sure kung tama, kung totoo ba yan, true to all ba yan, absolute ba yan na statement. Okay? So, that is hedging in the academic writing, in an academic writing. Okay? Ang letter A kasi definitely, ibig sabihin, sure na yan. Obviously, sure na yan. Proves, hindi yan siya for hedging. Okay? So, letter C ang ating sagot. Next, number 8. A paragraph begins with a discussion of declining biodiversity, then examines habitat destruction, and concludes by proposing stricter land use regulation. Which organizational pattern is most evident? Sige, begins with a discussion of declining biodiversity. Then, after that, about habitat destruction. Then, nag-conclude siya na dapat mag-propose ng stricter land use regulation. So, ano yung evidence organizational pattern na yan? Okay, the correct answer, walang iba kundi letter C. Okay, letter C, problem, cause, solution. Okay, problem, cause, solution. Kasi nga, di ba, yung paragraph, nag-start siya sa problem. Ano yung problem? Biodiversity decline. Okay? So, malapit nang maubos ang biodiversity or nag-lessen na. The next, of course, it explains the causes, no? Habitat destruction, yung cause, one of the cause. Okay? And then, of course, nag-propose siya ng response or solution. That is to have a stricter land use regulation. So that is letter C, problem, cause, solution. Okay? So that is not comparison and contrast. Kasi kung comparison, the similarities and differences. So wala mang similar and difference na hinighlight, diba? Hindi rin siya chronological order. Kasi hindi man sequence. Tamang pagkasunod-sunod na parang history or timeline, no? Hindi rin siya classification kasi hindi naman nag-classify or nag-organize, no, based on this specific na mga topic. Okay? So, hindi siya classification. Okay? That's problem, cause, solution. Next, number 9. Which sentence has the most defensible academic tone? Saan dyan yung may defensible academic tone? Sige daw, ano ang answer ninyo? Okay, is it A, the study totally proves that online learning is bad? B, the findings strongly suggest limitations in the effectiveness of online learning under the conditions examined? C, obviously, online learning fails whenever students lack discipline? Or letter D, the researchers finally discover the truth about online education? Sige, saan daw dyan yung defensible academic tones? Ang tamang sagot, we have letter B. Okay? The findings strongly suggest limitations in the effectiveness of online learning under the conditions examined. So, bakit? Kasi, gumamit siya ng objective, okay? Ano pa? Qualified academic language. And hindi siya gumamit ng mga exaggerated or emotional na mga claims, no? Yung pag-emotional lang na mga argument. Okay? So, letter B. Kasi, lagi talaga, findings strongly suggest limitations in the effectiveness of online learning under the conditions examined. Diba? So, very strong yung argument. Okay? Objective, qualified. Letter A, study totally proves that online learning is bad. That's actually, hindi yan siya, hindi siya defensible. Hindi siya for defense talaga, no? Letter C, obviously, online learning fails. Obviously, that's wrong. Letter D, the researchers finally discovered the truth. That's actually wrong. So, again, letter B, yung defensible talaga. Academic tone. Next, number 10. A writer cites a study showing that students who use educational applications have higher achievement scores. The writer concludes that using the applications causes higher achievement. Which additional information would best justify that causal claim? Yung paggamit daw, conclusion niya, paggamit na application, it can cause higher achievement. So, ano yung additional information that would justify the claim? Okay. Is it letter A, the students reported enjoying the applications? B, the applications were popular among high-performing students? C, students were randomly assigned to application use and control groups under comparable conditions? Or is it letter D, the study included students from several schools? Okay, the correct answer we have letter C. Students were randomly assigned to application use and control groups under comparable conditions. So, bakit yan yung ating sagot? Kasi nga, di ba, random assignment at saka yung comparable conditions, it can strengthen, no, the inference, the causal inference by reducing the systematic differences between groups. Okay? So, yan siya. So, random assignment and comparable conditions. So, it can strengthen the causal inference or yung causal claim natin. Okay? So, again, letter C ang correct answer. Letter A, students reported enjoying the applications. Does it justify? That's wrong. Applications were popular among high-performing students. So, hindi siya, hindi siya justifiable. Letter D, study included students from several schools. That's not actually, naka-justify sa causal claim. So, letter C ang ating final answer. Next, number 11. Alin ang pinakamabisang rebisyon sa pangungusap na dahil sa kadahilan ng hindi sapat ang pondo, kaya ipinagpaliban ang proyekto? Saan dyan yung mabisang rebisyon? A, dahil hindi sapat ang pondo, kaya ipinagpaliban ang proyekto. B, sa kadahilan ng hindi sapat ang pondo, ipinagpaliban kaya ang proyekto. C, dahil hindi sapat ang pondo, ipinagpaliban ang proyekto. Or letter D, dahil sa kakulangan ng pondo, kaya naman ipinagpaliban ang proyekto. Sige, again na, pinakamabisang revision. Ang ating sagot dito, we have letter C. Okay, letter C. Bakit? Dahil hindi sapat ang pondo, ipinagpaliban ang proyekto. Kasi nga, yung dahil there, di ba, it expresses the cause. Okay? And then, of course, kaya, it creates the unnecessary redundancy. Okay? Para hindi pa ulit-ulit. So, dahil hindi sapat ang pondo, ipinagpaliban ang proyekto. So, that is correct in terms of grammar. No? So, hindi dapat redundancy yung kaya. No? Kaya. Tanggalin na yung kaya. Okay? So, dahil hindi sapat ang pondo, ay pinagpaliban ang proyekto. O, better na yung statement na yan compared sa yung nauna. So, ang letter A kasi dahil hindi sapat ang pondo kaya, may kaya pa rin, redundant na siya, no? Letter B, sa kadahilan ng hindi sapat. So, hindi rin. Letter D, dahil sa kakulangan ng pondo, kaya naman. That's wrong. Again, letter C ang ating mabisang revision. Next, number 12. Sa isang akademikong sanaysay, sinabi ng manunulat, hindi lamang mahalaga ang teknolohiya dahil mabilis ito. Mahalaga ito sapagkat binabago nito ang paraan ng pagkatuto at pakikipag-ugnayan. Ano ang katangian ng akademikong pagsulat ang higit na namamayani? Sige, is it A, paggamit ng tayutay, B, lohikal na paglalahad ng katuwiran, C, masining na paglalarawan, or letter D, personal na pagsasalaysay? Okay, ang ating answer we have letter B. Okay, logical na paglalahad ng katuwiran. So, bakit logical? Kasi nga, di ba, yung statement, it presents the logical explanation kung bakit yung technology, okay, ay mas, okay, mahalaga. Okay? So, mas logical explanation yan kasi it really states, no, kung bakit mahalaga ang technology. So, hindi lang siya basta-basta nag-rely lang sa emotional or purely descriptive language, no? Yung parang eme lang, no? Kumbaga, logical talaga yung kanyang explanation. Okay? Mahalaga ito sapagkat binabago nito ang paraan ng pagkatuto at pakikipag-ugnayan. So, yan yung lohikal na paglalahad ng katuwiran. Next, number 13. Alin ang pinakamahusay na halimbawa ng pagpapakahulugan sa konteksto sa halip na literal na pagbasa? A. Mabigat ang kahon. Nangangahulugang mataas ang timbang nito. B. Mabigat ang kamay ng guro. Nangangahulugang maraming hawak na bagay ang guro. C. Mabigat ang kalooban niya. Nangangahulugang siya ay nakaramdam na matinding lungkot o dalamhati. Or letter D, mabigat ang bag, nangangahulugang puno ito. So, saan dyan yung halimbawa ng pagpapakahulugan sa konteksto? Okay, again, pag pagpapakahulugan sa konteksto, diba that's connotative? Pag literal naman, literal meaning, that's denotative. Okay? So, saan dyan yung connotative? Walang iba kundi letter C, yung mabigat ang kalooban niya. Kasi nga, hindi literal yung meaning. Ang ibig kasi sabihin ng mabigat ang kalooban, ibig sabihin, matinding lungkot o dalamhati yung naramdaman niya sa loob, no? Sa sarili niya. So, yan siya. Hindi literal na mabigat talaga doon sa loob ng katawan niya, no? So, hindi literal meaning. Ang letter A kasi, that's denotative. Okay? So, mabigat ang kahon, it means mabigat yung kahon kasi mataas yung timbang. Okay? So, literal. Mabigat ang kamay ng guro o maraming hawak na bagay ang guro. Okay, that's denotative also. Mabigat ang bag, ibig sabihin puno. Okay, that's also denotative. Next, number 14. Alin ang pinakaaangkop na pahayag sa isang formal na liham na humihiling ng pagbabago sa isang patakaran? Sige daw, pinakaangkop na pahayag sa formal na liham na humihiling ng pagbabago sa isang patakaran. Okay, sige. Is it letter A? Sana po ay mapagbigyan ninyo kami kasi sobrang hirap na talaga. B. Umaasa kami na inyong mabibigyang pansin ang mungkahing ito batay sa mga kalagayang inilahad. C. Kailangan ninyo itong baguhin dahil mali naman talaga ang patakaran. Or letter D. Pakibago na lamang po agad ang patakaran. So, ang tamang sagot dito walang iba kundi letter B. Okay? Umaasa kami na inyong mabibigyang pansin ang mungkahing ito batay sa mga kalagayang inilahad. So, bakit yan yung answer? Kasi nga, 'di ba? Mas respectful siya. Okay? Kung ating babasahin, respectful, ano pa? Mas formal, ano pa? At saka qualified para sa akademikong pagsusulat, no? So, yan siya. So, umaasa kami na inyong mabibigyang pansin ang mungkahing ito batay sa mga kalagayang inilahad. So, mali yung sana po ay mapagbigyan. Hindi yan siya, no? Hindi siya formal, hindi siya mas qualified. No? Letter C, kailangan ninyo itong baguhin. Letter D, pakibago na lamang po. So, again, hindi rin. Okay? So, letter B ang tamang sagot. Okay? Mas respectful, mas formal, mas qualified sa akademikong pagsusulat. Okay? Next, number 15. Ang pahayag na ang resulta ng pag-aaral ay nagpapahiwatig na maaaring may ugnayan ang dalawang variable ay higit na angkop kaysa ang resulta ay nagpapatunay na sanhi ng A ang B. Kung ang pag-aaral ay is it A. Correlational, B. Experimental na may random assignment, C. Longitudinal experimental, or letter D. Quasi-experimental na may control group. Resulta ng pag-aaral ay nagpapahiwatig na maaaring may ugnayan. So, pag may ugnayan, that is correlational. Again, number 15, correlational. Kasi nga, anong ibig sabihin ng correlational? Diba pag correlational study, ibig sabihin may ugnayan or may relationship or may association. Okay? Yung isang variable doon sa another variable. So, hindi, ang resulta ay nagpapatunay. So, that is causal, no? Cause and effect, yan siya, no? Yung resulta ay nagpapatunay na sanhi ng A ang B. So, again, ang pahayag na, yung first na statement, ang resulta ng pag-aaral nagpapahiwatig na maaring may ugnayan, so that is correlational. Okay? That is not experimental. Experimental, cause and effect yung experimental. Okay? So, ito yung cause. Okay? Then, of course, identify the cause and then the effect afterwards. Kapag ito yung gagamitin mo. So, that's experimental. Okay? Hindi din po longitudinal experimental. Cause and effect pa rin yan. Quasi-experimental. Hindi rin. Okay? So, again, letter A, correlational. 3D kasi cause and effect din yan siya. Next, number 16. A coastal community experiences increasingly severe flooding despite having constructed higher sea walls. Which explanation best reflects a systems-based scientific interpretation? Sige daw. Ano kayang answer natin dito? Is it A, sea walls always increase flooding because they block water? B. Flooding is caused exclusively by rainfall intensity. C. Sea level rise, land subsidence, altered drainage, storm surge, and coastal geomorphology may interact to increase flood risk. Or letter D. Flooding indicates that sea walls are scientifically ineffective in all circumstances. Okay, so the correct answer, okay, that is very good, letter C, okay? It reflects the systems-based scientific interpretation, okay? Nakalagay dyan, coastal community experiences increasingly severe flooding, okay? So therefore, it reflects the systems-based scientific interpretation, itong letter C, okay? Dahil, bakit yan yung natin? Kasi nga, okay, 'di ba? Yung risk kasi ng pagbaha, complex system 'yan na may factors yung pagtaas ng tubig, 'di ba? The drainage, the subsidence, the storm surge, and the coastal characteristics. Okay? So letter A, seawalls always increase flooding. That's wrong. Flooding is caused exclusively by rainfall. That's actually wrong. And letter D, flooding indicates that seawalls are scientifically ineffective in all circumstances. That's actually wrong. Okay? Next, number 17. Two objects are released simultaneously from the same height in a vacuum. Object A has twice the mass of object B. Which statement is correct? Is it A? A reaches the ground first because it has greater gravitational force. B reaches the ground first because it has less inertia. C, both reach the ground simultaneously because gravitational acceleration is independent of mass. Or letter D, their acceleration depends on their respective masses. So, dalawang objects, they are released sabay-sabay sila from the same height in a vacuum. Again, in space. Object A, may mas passive siya compared to object B. So, saang statement yung correct? Okay, the correct statement, we have letter C. Okay, both reach the ground simultaneously kasi nga, okay, hindi makakaapekto yung gravitational acceleration sa, hindi makaapekto yung mass sa gravitational acceleration. Okay? In space, tandaan, objects, regardless kung anong mass yan, massive ba yan or less massive, same pa rin yung gravitational acceleration. Okay? The greater the gravitational force on the heavier object is offset, no, by its proportionally greater inertia. Okay, next, number 18. A plant is placed in an atmosphere containing carbon dioxide labeled with a detectable carbon isotope. Later, the isotope is found in glucose produced by the plant. Which process most directly explains the incorporation? Is it A, glycolysis, B, Calvin cycle carbon fixation, C, oxidative phosphorylation, or letter D, Krebs cycle decarboxylation? See, what do you think is the correct answer? Okay, so ang tamang sagot natin dito is letter B. Okay, Calvin cycle carbon fixation. Okay, yung plant, dilagay siya sa atmosphere na merong carbon dioxide, okay, labeled with a detectable carbon isotope. Then later, the isotope is found in glucose. So nakita yung isotope doon sa glucose or starch na na-produce ng plant, no? So anong process yan siya? That's actually Calvin cycle carbon fixation. Okay? Bakit Calvin cycle? Kasi carbon dioxide ay ginagamit siya, okay, incorporated sa organic molecule like glucose, okay, during carbon fixation sa Calvin cycle or dark reaction. Calvin cycle or dark reaction. And that ultimately contributes to carbon to glucose. Okay, carbon to glucose. So, tandaan na, yung CO2, ginagamit yan siya. Okay, ina-incorporate yan siya doon sa organic molecules during the carbon fixation and that contributes, no, carbon to glucose. Okay, so letter B. Calvin cycle carbon fixation. Hindi siya glycolysis because glycolysis yan yung pag-breakdown ng glucose, okay? Glucose into pyruvate. Hindi rin oxidative phosphorylation. So, oxidative phosphorylation, that includes the electron transport chain, no? The release of ATP, okay? Yan siya. And then, hindi rin siya Krebs cycle decarboxylation. Okay? Kasi ang glycolysis, oxidative phosphorylation, and Krebs cycle, they are part of the cellular respiration. Ang letter B kasi, that is part of the photosynthesis process of the plant. Okay, next, number 19. A population of bacteria becomes resistant to an antibiotic after repeated exposure. Which explanation is most consistent with natural selection? Sige, saan dyan yung consistent with natural selection? Sige, saan dito ang consistent? Okay, the correct answer we have letter C. Okay, resistant variants already present or arising through mutation survive and reproduce at higher rates under antibiotic selection. So, bakit yan yung consistent with the selection? Diba nakalagay dyan with the natural selection? Kasi nga, diba, Ang natural selection kasi, it favors those resistant variants na makasurvive, na kayang makasurvive kung exposed sila sa antibiotic. And then afterwards, makasurvive sila doon, and then they can reproduce, no? Ang bacteria kasi, they do not intentionally mutate. Hindi sila kaagad-agad mag-mutate because kailangan muna nila na magkaroon ng resistance. They need resistance. Okay? So, letter C ang ating sagot. Resistant variants already present or arising through mutation survive and reproduce at higher rates under antibiotic selection. Okay? So, kailangan mo lagi maging resistant dun sa antibiotic. Letter A, individual bacteria deliberately develop resistance because they need it. Deliberately develop ba? Again, they do not intentionally mutate. Okay? So, ayan. How about letter B? Antibiotic causes every bacterium to mutate in the same beneficial way. That's wrong. Letter D, bacteria acquire resistance because organisms always adapt intentionally to environmental demands. Again, hindi lang environment, no? So, dapat kailangan resistant sila sa antibiotic. Okay, so letter C. Next, number 20. Which observation provides the strongest evidence that a chemical reaction has reached dynamic equilibrium? Sige, saan dyan yung evidence na yung chemical reaction ay may dynamic equilibrium? Is it letter A, reactants are completely consumed, B, product formation permanently stops, C, the forward and reverse reaction rates become equal while both reactions continue, or letter D, the concentrations of reactants and products become identical? Okay, our answer here is letter C. Okay, so yan yung may dynamic equilibrium. Okay, letter C. The forward and reverse reaction rates become equal while both reactions continue. So we will not answer letter A, reactants are completely consumed. Okay, letter B, product formation permanently stops. Letter D, the concentrations of reactants and products become identical. That's also wrong. So again, okay, sa dynamic equilibrium kasi dapat yung forward tsaka reverse reaction dapat continuous sila at equal speed or equal rate. Okay? So concentration will remain constant. So the same pa rin siya, pero again, need not to be equal. Okay? So, yan. So, again, letter C. The forward and reverse reaction rates becomes equal while both reactions continue. Okay, next, number 21. A satellite orbiting Earth appears weightless to its occupants. Which statement best explains this condition? Sige daw. Best explain this condition. A satellite orbiting Earth appears weightless sa occupants. Saan dyan yung explain the condition? So, is it letter A, Earth's gravity is absent at orbital altitude? B, the satellite and occupants are continuously accelerating toward Earth while simultaneously moving tangentially, producing free fall around Earth? C, the atmosphere cancels Earth's gravitational attraction? Or letter D, the satellite's velocity eliminates gravitational force? So, the correct answer we have letter B. So, ibig sabihin, okay, the satellite and occupants are continuously accelerating toward Earth while simultaneously moving tangentially, producing free fall. Okay? So, bakit yan yung ating sagot? Kasi nga, yung mga astronauts, no, yung mga astronauts kasi natin, they experience weightlessness pag nasa space sila. No? Uh, Kasi nga, sila tsaka yung spacecraft nasa free fall around Earth. That's why they experience apparent weightlessness. Okay? So that's letter B. Next, number 22. Which technological intervention would most directly reduce the risk of antimicrobial resistance at the population level? Sige, saan dito yung directly reduce the risk of antimicrobial resistance at the population level? Is that A, developing antibiotics with stronger effects and using them indiscriminately? B, replacing all antibiotics with antiviral drugs? C, combining antimicrobial stewardship, surveillance, infection prevention, and appropriate prescribing? Or letter D, increasing antibiotic availability without prescription? So, saan dyan yung directly reduce? That is letter C. No? Combining antimicrobial stewardship, surveillance, infection prevention, and appropriate prescribing. So, bakit letter C ang answer? Kasi nga, tandaan na yung mga antimicrobial resistance kasi, they require um, iba't ibang solution. It can be appropriate prescribing, it can be surveillance, infection prevention, and also antimicrobial stewardship. Okay? Ang letter B, replacing all antibiotics with antiviral. So, that's not the solution. Okay? Letter A, developing antibiotics with stronger effects. Letter D, increasing antibiotic availability. So, again, hindi nakakabuti yung antibiotic, no? Kasi kung magkaroon na ng resistance yan, no? Yung bacteria magkaroon na ng resistance sa antibiotic, ibig sabihin, sa next mo na pag-inom na antibiotic, hindi na siya effective. Kasi nga, kaya nang i-resist ng bacteria. Okay? O sabi ni Ma'am Gina, mahaba, explained well. Kaya yan, letter C ang answer. Sige. Okay, next, number 23. A researcher observes that of certain fertilizer increases plant height in one soil type but not another. Which variable is most likely acting as a moderator? Is it A, plant height, B, fertilizer dosage, C, soil type, or letter D, the number of measurements? Certain fertilizer increases plant height in one soil type but not another. So, ano yung variable dyan? Na moderator variable. Okay, the moderator variable, we have letter C, the soil type. Okay? The soil type, yung moderator. Kasi ano ibig sabihin ng moderator? Pag moderator, it can change, no? The strength of or the direction ng relationship ng mga variables, no? So, soil type kasi, it can explain why fertilizer has different effects under different conditions, no? So, it can be a moderator variable, yung soil type. So, hindi plant height, no? Plant height, it is the depende lang mo siya sa fertilizer, di ba? Letter B, fertilizer dosage, that's not the moderator. So, ang moderator is the soil type. Kasi nga, ang soil type, it can explain bakit yan na fertilizer, no? It can explain bakit yung fertilizer na yan ay may iba't ibang epekto, no? Kung may iba't ibang kondisyon yung plant. Okay? Hindi rin number of measurements. So, again, letter C, soil type. Okay, next, number 24. Which statement about greenhouse gases is scientifically most accurate? Most accurate. Saan dyan yung mas tama? Is it A, greenhouse gases create heat rather than interact with radiation? B, greenhouse gases primarily prevent sunlight from entering Earth's atmosphere? C, greenhouse gases absorb and re-emit outgoing infrared radiation, influencing Earth's energy balance? Or is it letter D, greenhouse gases affect only atmospheric pressure and not temperature? So again, ang tama is ang greenhouse gases absorb. So they have the tendency to absorb and also to re-emit yung infrared radiation, the radiation from the sun. And that creates the energy balance sa Earth and the surface temperature. Okay, next, let's proceed to number 25. A student claims that heavier objects fall faster because gravity exerts a greater force on them. So, saan dyan yung maka-address ng misconception? So, this is related lang kanina. So, that is the gravitational force increases with mass. No? Inertia increases proportionally, leaving ideal free fall acceleration independent of mass. Okay? So, tandaan yan siya. So, yung mga heavier object, they can experience greater gravitational force. Pero meron silang proportionally greater inertia. And therefore, the same yung kanilang gravitational acceleration. Okay, so letter B. Okay, next, number 26. Okay, if x plus 1 all over x is equal to 5, or x is not equal to 0, what is the value of x squared plus 1 over x squared? So, okay, so ang tamang sagot natin dito, that is, we are going to add that. Okay, so i-substitute natin yung values, no? So, i-squared muna yung x plus 1 over x squared, that is equal to 25, no? So, x squared plus 2 plus 1 over x squared is equal to 25. Okay? Okay, and then afterwards, x squared plus 1 over x squared, that is 20. Okay, that is 23. Okay, so letter B, 23. So, hindi 25 ang answer. Next, number 27. A school allocates 40% of its budget to salaries, 25% to instructional materials, and 15% to maintenance. The remaining 240,000 is reserved for technology. What is the total budget? What is the total budget for this one? So, tandaan, 40% plus 25% plus 15%, that's 80%. No? So, ibig sabihin, yung remaining is thus 20% equals 240,000. So 0.20 yung total percentage, no? So that's 240,000. Okay? So ayan siya. So the correct answer to this one, the total percentage is the total budget is 1,200,000. Okay? 1,200,000. Okay, so letter A. Okay, so 80%. 80% yung allocated percentage noon, and then yung remaining 20% is equivalent to 240,000. Okay? So ibig sabihin yung total pala na budget is 1,200,000. Okay? 1,200,000. Next, number 28. A sequence is defined by, okay, this is, mahirap talaga pag pag mathematics, no? So, that is, okay, that's A, Okay, that's A sub n equals 3 sub a n minus 1 minus 2 with a sub 1 is equal to 4. So, ano kaya yung value ng a for a sub 4 there? So, ang answer for that, sige, let's reveal the correct answer. Okay, the correct answer, walang iba kundi letter A, 82. Okay, 82 ang answer for that. Kasi una, a sub 2 is equal to 3 times 4 minus 2. That's equivalent to 10. Pag a sub 3 naman, that's 3 times 10 minus 2, 28 yan. Pero pag a sub 4 is equal to 3 times 28 minus 2, that is 82. So therefore, our answer is letter A, 82. Sige, next, number 29. A box contains 5 red, 4 blue, and 3 green balls. 2 balls are selected without replacement. What is the probability that they are of different colors? So for this one, okay, the correct answer, we have 47, 66. Bakit 47, 66? 12 balls lahat. I-divide mo siya by 2. Dapat, divide by 2, that's 66. And then, of course, diba, same color pairs, 5 half, 4 half, 3 half. So, 10 plus 6 plus 3, that's 19. Okay, so different color pairs naman, 66 minus 19, that is equivalent to 47. So, therefore, the probability is 47 over 66. Okay, next, number 30. If the roots of x squared minus 7x plus k is equal to 0, differ by 3, what is the k? Okay, so for this one, so if ang roots is x squared minus 7x plus k is equal to 0, so for that, okay, so ano muna siya, yung roots is r sub 1, then r sub 2. So, masyado mahirap ang ano na to, no, ang solution. But anyway, sige lang. Abang lang tayo. Okay, sige. So, r sub 1 minus r sub 2 squared is equal to r sub 1 plus r sub 2 squared minus 4r sub 1, r sub 2. So, we have 3 squared is equal to 7 squared minus 4k. So, yung 3 squared, that is 9, is equal to 49 minus 4k. So, kung i-ano natin yan siya, i-transpose natin. So, k is equal to 10. So, therefore, our answer here is letter B, 10. Okay? So, letter B, 10. Next, number 31. A right triangle has legs x and x plus 7 and hypotenuse, which is x plus 8. What is x? So, ang x value there is 5. Okay, so tandaan yan siya ha. Gagamit ka lang yan ng Pythagorean theorem. Okay, Pythagorean theorem. So, sa Pythagorean theorem, we have x squared plus x plus 7 squared is equal to x plus 8 squared. And then i-expand mo and then you have to simplify. So, x squared minus 2x minus 15, that is equal to 0. And then, afterwards, kunin mo yung kanilang mga variables. So, x minus 5, x plus 3, that is equivalent to 0. Therefore, the x value is 5. Okay, 5. Next, number 32. A quantity increases by 20% and then decreases by 20%. Compared with the original quantity, the final value is, I believe, parang inulit ito kagabi. So, you're very familiar with this one. This is letter C, 4% less. Again, 4% less. Bakit 4% less? Again, the original quantity is 100. So, after the 20% increase, times mo lang yan, 100 times 20%, that's 120, no? And the next, after a 20% decrease of 120, that is 96, no? So, 1, ibig sabihin, kasi 100 yung original quantity, minus 96, so 4% yung less niya, or 4% lower. Next, number 33. If fx is equal to 2x minus 1 all over x plus 3, which value of x makes fx is equal to 3? Okay, sige. Okay, so for number 33, 2x minus 1 all over x plus 3 is equal to 3. Then next dyan, so 2x minus 1 is equal to 3x plus 9. Then x is equivalent to negative 10. Okay, so letter A, negative 10. "34. The mean of 5 numbers is 18. When one number is removed, the mean of the remaining 4 is 16. What number was removed?" Mean of 5 numbers is 18. Okay, the correct answer here is 26. Inulit lang ito kahapon din. Okay, ay kagabi. Okay, so tandaan, di ba the original total is 5 times 18, that's 90. Remaining total, that's 4 times 60, that's 64. 90 minus 64, that is 26. Next, number 35. A test has a mean of 70 and standard deviation of 8. A student obtains 86. Assuming a normal distribution, the student's z-score. So, ilan ngayon yung z-score? Sige, okay. Okay, the correct answer, we have letter C. Okay, letter C. So, z-score is equal to 86 minus 70 all over 8. So, 86 minus 70, that's 16. Divided by 8, that is 2. So, that means yung student is scored 2 standard deviations above the mean based on the z-score. Okay, next, number 36. Which principle best explains why the Philippine Constitution distributes governmental powers among separate branches? So, anong rason? Bakit? Bakit? Of course. Okay, is it letter A, popular sovereignty? Dahil ba sa popular sovereignty? B, separation of powers? C, judicial supremacy? Or letter D, federalism? So, tandaan, that is separation of powers. Okay? The separation of powers prevents excessive concentration of governmental authority. So, that's the reason. Okay? Para hindi. And, tinatawag din siya na checks and balances. To provide institutional checks. And there is a balance in the power. Next, 37. A government official uses public resources to promote a private business owned by a close relative. Which principle? Ay, naku. Na-reveal na. Which principle of public ethics is most directly implicated? So, this one, the correct answer, we have conflict of interest. So, bakit conflict of interest? Kasi nga, 'di ba, kapag magamit ka ng public resources to benefit the private business of your relative, of course, it creates a conflict of interest. And of course, it can lead to ethical concern na. Okay? So, yan siya. So, conflict of interest. Hindi political neutrality. Hindi rin siya freedom of information and academic freedom. Yung academic freedom, sa ano na yan siya? Sa tertiary level in which may freedom sa teacher kung ano yung kanyang strategies, ano yung activities, 'di ba? Yan siya. So again, conflict of interest. Next, number 38. Which historical development most directly transformed Philippine political organization under Spanish colonial rule. Sabi ni Ma'am Glenda, 37B bonus. Bonus na daw. Most directly transform Philippine political organization. Okay, that is letter B. Okay, the establishment of pueblos and centralized colonial administration. Okay, so sa time na yan, sa Spanish colonial rule, mas centralized yung kanilang government. Okay, like pueblos, no? So it replaces, ayan, or restructure many pre-colonial political arrangement. Unlike sa pre-colonial kasi, 'di ba, decentralized. Okay? So yan, letter B ang ating sagot. Next, number 39. A historian discovers two primary sources describing the same event but contradicting one another. What should the historian do first? Okay, discovers two primary sources describing the same event but contradicting one another. What should the historian do first? So, ang dapat unahin ng historian is to examine, ayan, provenance, the authorship, the purpose, the context, and the corroborating evidence. Okay? So, yan siya. So, yan dapat critically evaluate yung gagawin ng isang historian. Next, number 40. Which situation best illustrates judicial review? San dyan yung example ng judicial review? Okay, judicial review, walang iba kundi letter C. Okay, a court determines whether a governmental act conforms to the Constitution. Okay, so, yan yung ginagawa ng Supreme Court. So, they examine, okay? They examine whether that law conform to the constitutional requirements. Okay, next, number 41. Which statement best distinguishes devolution from deconcentration? The difference between the two, the devolution and the deconcentration. Okay, so the correct answer we have, okay, devolution transfers functions and authority to autonomous local government, whereas yung deconcentration naman, it redistributes functions within the central government structure. Okay? So, tandaan yan siya. Yan yung kaibahan ng dalawa. The devolution, it transfers functions and authority papunta sa local government. Pag deconcentration naman, yan yung administrative functions within the central government. Sige, next. Number 42. A constitutional right is restricted by legislation. Which question is most important when evaluating whether the restriction is constitutionally defensible? The correct answer, of course, ito. Kapag yung restriction ay merong legitimate governmental objective and, of course, applicable constitutional standards. Okay, so letter B. So, dapat merong legitimate governmental objectives, hindi lang popularity. 43. Which economic situation best illustrates opportunity cost? Sige, saan dyan yung example ng opportunity cost? Okay, so opportunity cost here, we have, ano nga yung opportunity cost? Diba yan yung value of the best alternative for gun. Okay, so the correct answer is letter C. Si teacher spent Saturday attending a seminar instead of working for additional income. So, ibig sabihin, the teacher, give up niya yung potential additional income niya by attending the seminar. So, opportunity cost, okay, the value of the best alternative for gun. Okay, next, number 44. If demand for a product is highly price inelastic, a substantial increase in price will generally result in what? Highly price inelastic. So what will happen to the price? Okay, the correct answer, sige daw, anong sagot ninyo? Okay, the correct answer here is letter B. Letter B, okay? Letter B ang tamang sagot. Sa inelastic demand kasi, yung quantity, it can change proportionally less than price, no? So, ibig sabihin, yung consumers, okay, less responsive to price changes. Okay, so, again, quantity demanded changes proportionally less than price. No? So, letter B, a relatively small percentage decrease in quantity demanded. Okay, next. Let's proceed to number 45. Which situation best demonstrates social stratification? Social stratification. Social stratification here, we have letter C. No? Unequal access to education, may wealth, may political influence. No? Anong ibig sabihin ng social stratification? So, tandaan, pag social stratification kasi, it involves the inequalities, no? The structured inequalities in the society. Inequalities sa access sa resources, sa opportunities, sa status, and even power. Okay. Sige, let's have 46. A viral post states, a new study proves that drinking a particular beverage increases intelligence by 40%. Sabi ni Ma'am Gina, by the power of C, power of Christ. Sige. Sige. Ayan, a new study proves that drinking a particular beverage increases intelligence by 40%. The linked article contains no methodology, sample size, or statistical analysis. What is the most appropriate response? Anong dapat gawin? Of course, no, kailangan, dapat, you have to find or seek the original study and evaluate its design, evidence, sample, effect size, and limitations. Okay, para tama. Okay, yung linked article is verified talaga siya. Verified and reliable. And credible at the same time. Sige. Number 47. A researcher reports a statistically significant result with P is less than 0.05. Which conclusion is not automatically justified? Not automatically justified. Sige, ang tamang sagot dito is letter C. Power of C talaga, no? The effect is practically important and necessarily large. So, bakit not automatically justified? Kasi nga, 'di ba? Statistical significance, it does not automatically mean ay yung effect is large. Okay? Yung significance ng statistics niya, it doesn't mean na yung effect is large or meaningful or educationally important. Okay? So, yan siya. So, hindi yan automatically justified. Okay? So, letter C. Letter C. Okay, next, number 48. Which scenario best illustrates confirmation bias? Confirmation bias. Teachers, i-check ninyo ang mga sagot ninyo ha, kung tama o mali, para mamaya you will know your scores. Sige, saan dyan yung bias, confirmation bias? Okay, the correct answer we have number 48, that's letter C, no? So a person selectively accepts evidence supporting an existing belief while dismissing contradictory evidence without adequate evaluation. So, okay, so yan. Kasi when we talk about confirmation bias kasi, 'di ba? Kapag yung tao is may pinipili siya na i-accept, okay? I-accept yung supporting evidence, no? Without dismissing the contradictory evidence. Okay, so that's confirmation bias. When individuals accept preferentially the supporting evidence. Okay, so that is confirmation bias. Ayan. So, letter C ang tamang sagot. Next, 49. A news report states that 90% of surveyed teachers support the policy. Which question is most important before generalizing the result to all teachers nationwide? Is it A, was the survey headline attractive? B, was the sample a representative of the population of teachers? C, did the survey use percentages? Or is it letter D, was the survey conducted online? Sige, anong answer ninyo? Okay, that is letter B. Very good. So, letter B, was a sample representative of the population of teachers? Okay. So, yan dapat yung question. Okay, before generalizing the result to all teachers nationwide. Okay, kasi nga, 'di ba, ang high percentage, no, galing sa poorly selected sample, it does not generalize to the entire population. So, kailangan lang yung representativeness. Okay? So, yan siya. Next, number 50. Which statement best distinguishes reliability from validity in measurement? Saan ang difference ng reliability sa validity? Okay, the correct answer we have letter A. Tandaan, reliability, it means may consistency sa scores, no? Validity naman, of course, measure what it intends to measure. Okay, that's the difference of the two. Sa assessment of learning, dapat alam talaga yan. Reliability is consistency of measurement. Validity naman, dapat yung instrument na yon, it measures the intended construct. 51. Okay, last 10 questions. Okay? Sige, a school survey finds that students who sleep longer tend to obtain higher grades. Which variable could most plausibly function as a confounding variable? Sige, ano kaya ang tamang sagot natin dito? Confounding variable. A confounding variable, it is an outside factor that affects both the dependent and the independent variable. Sige, anong answer ninyo? Okay, the correct answer is very good. That's letter B. Students' study habits if they influence both sleep patterns and grade. So that's confounding variable. Kasi nga, 'di ba? Study habits can both influence the sleep pattern and the academic performance. Okay, so that's why confounding variable siya. May confounding relationship. Okay, next, number 52. A teacher claims our students performed better after the new teaching method. Therefore, the method caused the improvement. Which alternative explanation poses the strongest threat to the causal inference? Alternative explanation that poses the strongest threat. Saan dyan yung strongest threat? Okay, so for number 52, the correct answer is letter A. The students knew they were being studied and received additional support during the same period. So, bakit yan yung ating sagot? Kasi, di ba, additional support received simultaneously, sabay, with a new teaching method. And that provides an alternative explanation for the improvement. Okay? Yan siya. So, again, letter A. Next, number 53. Which research practice best reduces selection bias when assigning participants to experimental and control groups? Saan dyan yung makareduce ng selection bias? Okay, the correct answer is letter C. Okay, using random assignment. Kasi kapag random assignment kasi, 'di ba, it distributes the characteristics of participants, no, sa grupo. So ibig sabihin, hindi ma-follow yung yung systematic na selection differences. Mas mabuti dapat may random assignment. Next, number 54. A graph's vertical axis begins at 95 rather than 0, making a small difference appear enormous. Which principle of data literacy is most relevant? Is it A, sampling error, B, visual distortion through axis manipulation, C, correlation coefficient, or letter D, randomization? Okay, this is letter B. Okay, visual distortion. Okay, tandaan, kasi diba, nag-start siya sa axis at a high value. Then visually, na-exaggerate siya dun sa small differences. So, merong distort interpretation. Okay? So, again, letter B, visual distortion. 55. Sige. A city experiences severe flooding. A proposal recommends replacing all natural wetlands with concrete drainage channels because concrete channels appear to move water more rapidly. Which evaluation is most scientifically defensible? So, ang defensible dyan, of course, ito, di ba? Dapat yung proposal must be evaluated no, as a whole system intervention because wetlands can store water, reduce peak runoff, and provide ecological services. Okay? So, letter B. Ayan. So, hindi pwede na, kasi ang flood management, dapat i-consider yung entire system, hindi lang yung isang engineering feature. Okay. Number 56. A teacher asks students to compare two historical accounts, identify their assumptions, assess evidence, and defend which interpretation is better supported. So, which cognitive process is most strongly emphasized? Comparing historical accounts that identify assumptions, assess evidence. So, that is letter C, evaluation. Okay, evaluation. Bakit? Kasi ang students kasi they are asked to judge competing interpretation using the evidence. Okay, and afterwards, they have to justify their conclusion. So, therefore, evaluating yung ginagawa ng students. Next, 57. Suppose a policymaker argues crime increased after the city installed additional street lights. Therefore, the street lights caused crime to increase. Which criticism is most logically compelling? Saan dyan yung logically compelling? We have letter A. The conclusion confuses temporal sequence with causation and ignores possible confounding factors. Kasi nga 'di ba, the fact that one event occurred after another, it does not establish the causation, no? So ibig sabihin, other variables can explain bakit mataas yung crime. Okay? So, yan siya. Letter B ang ating sagot. Ay, letter A. Letter A. Okay, again, letter A ang ating sagot. The conclusion confuses the temporal sequence with causation and ignores possible confounding factors. 58. A community must choose between two environmental projects. Project X provides a large immediate benefit but significant long-term ecological damage. Project Y naman provides a smaller immediate benefit but preserves ecosystem services for decades. Anong framework yung supports a systematic comparison? Okay, the framework we have, letter B. So, dapat i-consider yung effects, the externalities, opportunity cost, and the long-term sustainability of the project. So, letter B ang ating answer. 59. Sige, second to the last. An argument contains the following premises. All policies that violate constitutional rights are invalid. Policy X violates constitutional rights. Which conclusion follows deductively? Is it A, policy X is unpopular, B, policy X is inefficient, C, policy X is invalid, or letter D, policy X should be amended? Okay, the correct answer, that is letter C. That's letter C. Policy X is invalid. Kasi nga 'di ba, ang first argument, all policies violating constitutional rights are invalid. Then policy X violates constitutional rights. Therefore, policy X is invalid. Okay? So that's deductive. Okay? Deductive. Yan siya na conclusion. And last number, a researcher receives two datasets measuring the same educational outcome. Dataset A has a very large sample but substantial measurement error. Dataset B naman, may smaller sample siya but a highly validated instrument and carefully controlled collection procedures. So, saan dyan yung most defensible? Anong tamang sagot? Okay, the correct answer we have number 60, that is letter C. Neither. Wala sa kanilang dalawa. Neither dataset can be evaluated without considering both the sampling characteristics and measurement validity or reliability. No? So, kahit pa, okay, again, large sample size, it doesn't automatically overcome poor measurement. No? It doesn't mean na large yung sample size, ay yun na, tama yung measurement niya. Okay? Hindi din, validated instrument does not eliminate sampling limitations. So, therefore, both dapat, the characteristics of the sample and both measurement must be evaluated. So, that's letter C. Neither dataset can be evaluated without considering both the sampling characteristics and the measurement validity or reliability. Sabi ni Ma'am Gina, power of C talaga, power of Christ. Okay, sige. So that ends our ratio. Okay, sige. So paki-send ang scores ninyo dito, teachers. Ilan yung scores ninyo out of 60? Kasi halos B, C, minsan lang yung D, tsaka A. Sige daw. Let me see your scores. Out of 60, ilan yung scores ninyo? May naka-perfect ba? May naka-perfect ba sa atin? Oh, wow, 48 out of 60. Ma'am Glenda. Oy, 50 out of 60. Ma'am Bing. Okay. Ma'am Gina, 57 out of 60. Ma'am Anna Marie, 54 out of 60. Ma'am Maria, 55 out of 60. Ma'am Janet, 45 out of 60. How about the others? Oh, Ma'am Hazel, 59 out of 60. Okay, ayan. So, almost, na talaga, no? Almost perfect na. Ayan. Number 28. Sige, ma'am. Ating yan, ang number 28. Sige daw. Ito. AN. Bakit D? D ang sagot. No. I mean, A yung sagot natin dito. Mag-start ka kasi niyan, A sub 1 is to 4. So, A sub 1 is to 4. So, A sub 1 is to 4. And then, using the formula, yung formula na given there, A sub n is equal to 3 sub A n minus 1 minus 2. Okay, so A sub 1 is equal to 4 man yung start. So, yung A sub 2 natin, A sub 2 muna, A sub 2, natin yan siya, i-calculate natin. A sub 2 is equal to 3
times 4 minus 2, that is 10. Then afterwards, a sub 3 na naman. A sub 3 is equal to 3 times 10 na naman. Okay, times 10 minus 2, that is 28. Okay, the next we have a sub 4, that is equivalent to 3 times 28 minus 2, that is 82. So therefore, our answer here is 82. Okay, 82. Sige. So mag-ano tayo, mag-run through tayo mga ma'am and sir. Let's run again the items, no? So run then answer. Okay, let's start. Okay, ito, which revision best preserves the intended epistemic caution? That answer is letter B. The intervention appeared successful, although individualized coaching prevents contributing the improvement solely to it. Number 2, scope ambiguity. Answer, letter C. The school will provide laptops to students with damaged screens. Number 3, distinction between correlation and causation. That is letter B. Students who read frequently generally obtain higher scores, suggesting an association between reading frequency and achievement. Number 4, which evidence would most seriously weaken the argument? Answer, letter B. Several adopting schools perform no better than comparable non-adopting schools despite similar conditions. Next, number 5, most appropriate parallel structure. Answer, letter C. The program aims to improve literacy, increase attendance, and develop students' confidence. 6, what logical fallacy is most directly present? Answer, false dilemma. Again, false dilemma. 7, which statement best exemplifies hedging in scholarly writing? Answer, C. The intervention may contribute to improved comprehension under certain conditions. 8, which organizational pattern is most evident? Answer, problem, cause, solution. Again, problem, cause, solution. Next, 9, most defensible academic tone. Answer, B. The findings strongly suggest limitations in the effectiveness of online learning under the conditions examined. 10, which additional information would best justify that causal claim? Answer, C. Students who were randomly assigned to application use and control groups under comparable conditions. 11, dahil sa kadahilan ng hindi sapat ang pondo kaya ipinagpaliban ang proyekto? Answer, C. Dahil hindi sapat ang pondo, ipinagpaliban ang proyekto. 12, anong katangian ng akademikong pagsulat ang higit na namamayani? Answer, lohikal na paglalahad ng katuwiran. Again, lohikal na paglalahad ng katuwiran. Next, number 13, pagpapakahulugan sa konteksto. Answer, C. Mabigat ang kalooban niya, nangangahulugang siya ay nakaramdam ng matinding lungkot o dalamhati. Again, letter C. Next, 14. Okay, isang formal na liham na humihili ng pagbabago sa isang patakaran. Answer, B. Umaasa kami na inyong bibigyang pansin ang mungkahing ito batay sa makalagayang inilahad. 15. Ang resulta ay nagpapatunay higit na angkop kaysa, that's correlational. So, ang payag na ang resulta ng pag-aaral ay nagpapahiwatig na maaari may ugnayan ang dalawang variable, that is correlational. Next, number 16. Which explanation best reflects the systems-based scientific interpretation? Answer, sea level rise, land subsidence, outer drainage, storm surge, coastal geomorphology may interact to increase flood risk. Which statement is correct? Number 17, that is letter C. Both reach the ground simultaneously because gravitational acceleration is independent of mass. 18, which process most directly explains the incorporation? As letter B, Calvin cycle carbon fixation. 19, which explanation is most consistent with natural selection? Answer, letter C. Resistant variants already present or arising through mutation survive and reproduce at higher rates under antibiotic selection. Number 20, reach dynamic equilibrium. Answer, C. The forward and reverse reaction rates become equal while both reactions continue. 21, which statement best explains this condition? Answer, letter B. The satellite and occupants are continuously accelerating toward Earth while simultaneously moving tangentially, producing free fall around Earth. 22, most directly reduce the risk of antimicrobial resistance at a population level? Answer letter C, combining antimicrobial stewardship, surveillance, infection prevention, appropriate prescribing. Next, which variable is most likely acting as a moderator? Answer soil type. Again, soil type. Scientifically most accurate answer, greenhouse gases absorb and re-emit outgoing infrared radiation, influencing Earth's energy balance. Next, which response best addresses the misconception? Answer letter B. Claim is incomplete because although gravitational force increases with mass, inertia increases proportionally, leaving ideal free fall acceleration independent of mass. If x plus 1 all over x is equal to 5, or x is not equal to 0, the value of x squared plus 1 all over x squared, that is 23. Again, 23. The remaining 240,000 is reserved for technology. Anong total budget? That is 1,200,000 pesos. Next, what is a sub 4? Answer is 82. Again, 82. Pag, let's say 28 yung nakalagay dyan. Kung 28 nakalagay dyan, answer 28 na lang. Diba? Answer mo yung 28. Kasi yun yung, kumbaga, let's just assume na lang na ano lang siya, na typo lang siya. Kaya usually, basta math, may typo talaga yan. Actual exam. Next, 29. Box contains 5 red, 4 blue, and 3 green balls. Answer, 47 out of 66. 47, 66. Now, the different colors. Okay, what is K? Okay, that is 10. Again, 10. What is the value of X? 5. Again, 5. Okay, 20 increases by 20%, decreases by 20%. The final value is 4% less than the original quantity. Next, which value of X makes fx is equal to 3? That is negative 10. Again, negative 10. Okay, ano yung na-remove na number? That is 26. Okay, 26. Z-score, 2.0. Again, 2.0. Next. Okay, the Philippine Constitution, governmental powers among separate branches. Again, letter B, separation of powers prevents excessive concentration of governmental authority. 37. Which principle of public ethics is most directly implicated? Answer, conflict of interest. 39. Under Spanish colonial rule, answer, establishment of pueblos and centralized colonial administration. What should the historian do first? Answer, examine provenance of authorship, purpose, context, and corroborating evidence. Judicial review, answer, accord determines whether a governmental act conforms to the Constitution. Devolution from deconcentration, again, pag devolution, transfers functions and authority to local government, while deconcentration naman redistributes functions within the central government. Next, most important when evaluating whether the restriction is defensible, answer is whether the restriction has a legitimate governmental objective and satisfies applicable constitutional standards. Opportunity cost, answer, teachers spend Saturday attending a seminar instead of working for additional income. Okay. A substantial increase in price, that is relatively small percentage decrease in quantity demanded. Social stratification, answer is unequal access to education, wealth, and political influence. Okay, next, most appropriate response. Seek the original study and evaluate its design, evidence, sample, effect, size, and limitations. Not automatically justified. Answer is the effect is practically important and necessarily large. Confirmation bias. Answer is a person selectively accepts evidence supporting an existing belief while dismissing contradictory evidence without adequate evaluation. Next, which question is most important before generalizing the result to all teachers nationwide? Answer, letter B. Was a sample representative of the population of teachers? Next, distinguishes reliability and validity. Answer, reliability concerns consistency, whereas validity naman measures what it is intended to measure. 51. Confounding variable. Answer is letter B. Students study habits if they influence both sleep patterns and grades. Next, causal inference. Okay, alternative explanation. Letter A. Students knew they were being studied and received additional support during the same period. 53. Selection bias. Answer is letter C, using random assignment. 54. principle of data literacy is most relevant? Answer is visual distortion through axis manipulation. 55, most scientifically defensible. Answer is letter B. The proposal should be evaluated as a whole system intervention because wetlands can store water, reduce peak runoff, and provide ecological services. 56. Cognitive process most strongly emphasized. That is evaluation. Again, evaluation. Which criticism is most logically compelling? Answer is letter A. The conclusion confuses temporal sequence with causation and ignores possible confounding factors. Number 58. Which framework best supports the systematic comparison? Answer is letter B. Consider intergenerational effects, externalities, opportunity costs, and long-term sustainability. 59. Anong conclusion daw ang nag-follow ng deductive? Answer is, policy X is invalid. Again, invalid. Deductive, general to specific. Number 60. Which statement is most defensible? Answer is, letter C. Neither dataset can be evaluated without considering both sampling characteristics and measurement, validity, or reliability. So again, letter C ang ating sagot. And that ends po our run-through. Okay, so ayan. So maraming salamat po mga ma'am and sir. Thank you very much for attending our session and congratulations to all of you, no? So maraming salamat po talaga mga ma'am and sir for attending our review session, 3-night review session. So I hope and pray po na lahat kayo ay makapasa sa board exam. Makapasa at may mag-top po sa inyo. I-claim po natin yan by God's grace, no? Sabi pa nga ni Ma'am Gina, by the power of C. No, ayan. So, thank you very much, teachers. I hope and pray na lahat po kayo ay makapasa. Okay? So, ayan. So, thank you very much, teachers. See you next time sa ating review session. Thank you very much. God bless to you all.